going to have to ask you this question right quick.
Okay.
There's no way I'm going to let you go without talking about my main man, the man right now, my man Donald Trump, right?
DT. Donald Trump.
DT, right? And the upcoming American elections, right? I've got my own personal feelings about it, right? My own personal choice
Yeah.
between Trump and Clinton. The first Clinton, the 40th American president. I don't know if I'm right.
Okay. Yeah.
40th or 39th or something like that. It was all right. He was good. He was a cool guy, you know. But
Yeah. Bill was cool. Bill was
right
cool.
now we are on the verge of having another Clinton in the Oval Office. So what do you think about my man Trump? And what are or what is your personal preference?
Okay. To say right off, Donald Trump is a racist. And the idea of he is now creating an opportunity in the United States for a lot of people who have the same feelings as he do to be able to stand up and say, told you, and with the thought of what's happening now between the two, it's what is the phrase? The worst of two evils.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, there are some things about the Clintons that people aren't aware of. There are a number of things about them as a family and as an organization. Um, Being wealthy in America is the advantage. Being wealthy in America, and of course, the Clintons, they're getting wealthy off of Africa, and it is something that you can very easily verify by simply logging on and the About Us in the Clinton Foundation. They're doing so much great work in Africa. Really, they are. They're making millions of pounds in Africa. Millions. And of course, the Clinton Foundation is actually pocketing this money. But then it is a question of how that's happening now. This is not me pointing the finger. This is just some of the things that that family are doing to benefit themselves. Now, we're looking at DT, and he is also of that same attitude. He's doing something to benefit himself. Even if he doesn't become president of the United States, he will be even more powerful than he was prior to that.
I agree with that.
The thought of who he is and what he is, he's a businessman. He's always been a businessman. He's been in business and has run some multi-million dollar companies for a number of years. A lot of them, they've had their issues. A lot of them could even be considered failures. However, he's consistent. Now, the presidency of the United States is being chairman of the board of one of the biggest businesses in the world. That's pretty much the simplest way to look at it. You're the chairman of the board. Yeah, and you run that business. Donald Trump could do the same thing. He could run that business, and if he runs it the way he's ran his other business, he'll run it right into the ground, which is what the Muslims are anticipating as well. And with this situation here, with the thought of who's going to actually become the president of the country that really leads the world from an economic standpoint, and the rest of the world follows that company as it starts to develop, and the idea of where it is now. And that's just on the thought of what has happened here with this little Brexit thing. And Brexit has become a big deal because it has now affected America. America is now in a position where it's going to choose the next leader, and the next leader is going to have to lead the world out of this recession that is impending. If it's Donald Trump's going to ride it in the ground. He's going to get as much as he can out of it and then walk away from it the way the other guy did the department store. Um, and just walk away from it and leave people stranded in that situation. Now, because we have the two choices, and it comes down to just those two choices. You can either choose not to vote, or you can make the gamble for what is. I'm sorry. You can make the gamble for what is going to be inevitable. Inevitable.
Right.
Hillary is not the best candidate. She's not the best candidate. Um, Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders is on that ticket, Bernie Sanders would become president of the United States.
Right.
He would become president of the United States. Donald Trump, I'd like to think that as a businessman, he would probably work harder to prove a point if he became president of the United States. He would make an effort to prove that point, that he is a good businessman. However, his history has, or his lifestyle has shown us what he will do if he was to become president. What he would do, he would write it in the ground, and of course, it would then give rise to a lot more of the racist behavior within the United States. That slogan that he uses, "Make America White Again." When America was white, we were slaves. And to bring that attitude back to a group of people who are willing and ready to have some type of upheaval, they're preparing for it. Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, we're going to see volatility. Things are going to happen. Black people are not going to, there will be more hate crime. And there will be more black people who will be willing to stand up against